So recently, the one and only Sukihana hit me up for her first Earth Angel Hills design, and I was so excited to create this piece for her because not only is she a Scorpio like moi, but she also had a very cool, intricate, and elaborate design in mind. And if you guys know anything about me, you know that I like to get down into the details. So I was up for the challenge of creating a piece like this, even though I've never created anything quite like this. But I'm excited to show you guys how I did it from start to finish, so stay tuned for the rest of this video. Those of you who already follow me know that whenever I'm doing a more intricate piece, I always sketch things out first. And of course, this design required me to sketch it out just to get a visualization of how I wanted things to look. So I sketched out the frame of like the choker collar part and also the ankh. Based off the design that Suki showed me, I knew the idea of where she wanted the crystals to go, and then I just filled in the rest for the ankh. Here I'm showing you how I created a prong setting for the smaller 3mm crystals that I used. I actually have a video tutorial on my website on how to prong set, but this is a much smaller version. You create the prongs and then you fold them in on each other so that you can place the stone inside. This is a different type of prong that I invented for myself. And then here we are back to the sketching. Now this time I'm sketching the ankh out, and then I'm tracing the ankh shape with my copper wire. I used like a thicker, I think 12 gauge square copper wire for this part. That's something that's very sturdy enough to hold the ankh's shape. Here we're using a half round 16 gauge wire. Whenever you're creating a frame, you want to create structure in the back to hold the crystals so that they don't just fall through the frame. So that's why we use this half round. And since we're working with cabochon stones are flat on one end. So when you use half round to hold them in place, you want to put the flat side up towards the side that will be touching the crystal. That way they both can lay flat on each other. And it'll allow you to have a better gripping of the stone as you're creating your design around it. And here in this part, I'm creating the beginnings of a coil. I also have a video tutorial on my website on how to create the double coil, but you can see some of it here. I used a drill because the coil is going to be pretty long, so it would take a very long time if you were to do that part by hand. And whenever I'm making the coil, I use like a 30 gauge round copper wire to wrap around a 24 gauge wire. And then I use that coil to wrap it around this square wire, which is like 19 gauge. And yeah, this part is pretty easy to do by hand. You could probably use a drill to do this part as well, but I prefer to do it by hand so that it can look nice and neat how I want it. And yeah, looks like I'm just repeating that. Actually, what happened here was that I ran out of the amount of coil that I needed, so I manually wrapped this 30 gauge around the extending arm of the 24 gauge that was already connected to this coil that I had already made. So I measured it out like by eyeballing it, and then you'll see in a few seconds why I needed that much more to complete the look of the design. And so this is the last step of the double coil, is I'm filling in the gaps with 24 gauge of the coil just to add like a little bit more flavor to the design. This part can be a little time consuming, but yeah, you guys get to see this video in about 15 minutes, but it actually took me like 2 or 3 days to make this whole ankh choker necklace. So yeah, this part, there's different ways to kind of wind it around, and as you can see, I kind of switched to the method that would allow me to do it the quickest. And now, whenever I'm designing, I like to
think of my style as like a flow style. Even though I did sketch things out, I still allow myself to flow and decide as I move along, where will I connect things? Where will I fill in the gaps of this frame of the Ankh with my weaving patterns? So I secured the coil, and then here you can see me wrapping a different type of weaving pattern, which is using square wire and round wire, which is 30 gauge. And you like wrap this 30 gauge around one arm, and then you wrap it around both. And you can see that in the design. You choose how many wraps you want to use for that part of the weaving design. Here, I'm deciding where I'm going to place these prong settings that I did. They just so happen to make like a 6-9 kind of design, and I thought that was really cool because it just kind of shows like as above, so below. I didn't plan that, but it happened. And then here, I added another weaving pattern on the arms of the Ankh, which you use like square wire as the base and the 30 gauge on top. And yeah, I'm continuously just adding more weaving patterns to secure the stones and to incorporate different symbolisms like the spirals, the coils, and just a nice flowy, watery kind of energy to the Ankh. I'm securing the coil, and you get to see what that looks like. You know, my main objective when I'm wrapping is to make sure everything is very nice and tight. That way, if the Ankh gets dropped, things aren't falling out. And over time, I want this piece to last throughout the ages, not only for the customer, but even beyond then, in case they want to pass it down to other people in their bloodline. So this is like the back mechanics. Just making sure you have to find the right holes to stick things through. It's not always that easy depending on what size wire you're working with, but you know, you have to find a way to secure things. And yes, here we are filling in more gaps with my patterns. I am a pretty simple person, even though these designs are very intricate. I have like certain weaving patterns that I'm very comfortable with, and I like to use those and then like kind of invent newer ones. Like this one that I'm adding next to the spiral at the bottom. I just stick to simplicity and I layer, which creates a more complex piece. I'm not like stressing myself out about, oh, I need to have 10 different weaving patterns. Like, no, if I know the ones that work for me, I can make them look very intricate and complex by just starting the foundation off very simply. Another main thing is like I had to make sure I secured that amethyst stone at the bottom, in a unique way so that it showcased the beauty of the stone, the design, but also held things firmly in place. And then this half round wire was used at the top of the labradorite to create an extra layer of security. As you're watching this video, you should just be able to see, like, my main objective is to fill in the gaps using my creativity. So if you're creating a piece like this, that's all you have to do is like give yourself some space to work with, and then think of the weaving patterns and the designs that you know, and just get creative with like, how can I fill in the blanks as I'm creating? There's no rules, there's no set structure. It's all about how you use what you know to create a picture, create an image. So on this part, I'm now creating the choker part, and this is just, you get to see the process again of how I sketch things out, and then I literally use the wire. Typically, I'm always going to be using square wire for the frames because they're really nice for you to be able to grip your wire, your other wire that you use for your weaving patterns to this frame. And even though this might seem like a harder step of the process, it's really not that hard. The main objective is to use some needle nose pliers to help you grip the wire and bend it at the exact sharp points that it needs to be bended at. But basically, yeah, if you look what I'm doing, you see exactly how it works. I'm always holding this wire firm towards the sketch. That way I get all the angles that I need. And that's what it looks like completed. And just like we did with the Ankh, we're going to begin to fill in the space. And I'm pretty much just following the design exactly how I sketched it and how I want it to look in real time. I used these 8mm labradorite beads. And yeah, you can see I dropped it there. But yeah, the 8mm labradorite beads to, they have the hole in them, so that makes them easier to put into the design. And here, I actually did something kind of unique. I created a mini frame to place within the bigger frame. So I knew that I would be able to more easily secure these stones to the smaller frame and make a design as if I was making a necklace pendant. And then I secured that, as you can see, to the larger frame using 24 gauge wire. And yeah, the main objective of this was to find the little gaps that would allow me to secure this little smaller pendant within the bigger frame. And also, like, I wanted to make sure it was leveled and not indented. So it took me a little struggle, but in the end we got it. And I didn't just secure it at the top, I also secured it at lower parts of the design too, like towards the bottom of it. And also the stones that were used in here was ruby and moonstone. And whenever I have like a selection of stones at home, I kind of just like choose the ones that I think would be best for the customer based off what they've told me. And here, this is a 12 gauge half round wire, and as you can see, it was already shaped. So I shaped it before I put it in there. Like, I didn't shape it as I went. And now I'm just securing that pattern to the frame. And whenever I'm doing it, I'm trying to make sure like everything still looks pleasant. So I used a lot of symmetry on this. So what I did to one side, I made sure I did it to the other side as well. And then like after I get things mostly secured, I just try to make sure visually everything looks right. And I decided to connect that other part underneath at the bottom of the frame where it's kind of like hidden just a little bit. And you can see that I'm making sure everything is really nice and tight. If it's tight enough, then you don't have to wrap it around with so many layers. You can just do it like a once or twice. And so here you get to see a little bit more of how I started that design that I did on the other side and how I'm going to replicate it for this side. I started with like bending it like at a right angle kind of, and then just twirling it around itself and also flattening it, because when you're making curves like this with half round, it kind of bends out of place. So I always use my needle nose to make sure it remains flat for the design. In this one, I actually did shape it a little bit more as it was already in there. And you just follow the groove, of the pattern that I was trying to make it parallel to. So once I was able to do that, then the next step was just to secure it. And voila! Finally, I finished it all. Some of the parts you didn't see was how I connected the Ankh to the frame. But if you look close, you can see I used a jump ring. I used 2 jump rings to connect the frame to the Ankh, the top of the Ankh. And I created a little bell on the Ankh using half round, 12 gauge, which is strong enough to hold it, to connect one to the other. And then I also designed a spiral chain that was used for the necklace part, and I'll show you in this clip. You'll get to see how that chain looks. and I added a few more, fancy designs in there. But I use like my infinity coil and spirals to connect one to the other. Yeah, and that's how I did it, you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on how you like this. I actually created this a few months ago, but if you follow me, I did some traveling, and after I traveled to Jamaica and Washington D.C., my orders from like my Etsy store and online have been coming in nonstop, and I haven't had a lot of time to slow down to post content and do other things, but I'm giving myself grace, and I'm getting there with the help of my team. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, share, and subscribe.